Why is it a good thing to be realistic in your expectations in your relationship? So in today's podcast, Sissy and I, we're going to talk about some of the ways that you can keep your expectations real.
That's right.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hey, Blissful friends, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I'm joined by my hubby.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Will, and if this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new videos. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and in this podcast, what is it that we
Hold up, babe.
Again?
Hold up.
Okay.
You forgot to say we're glad to have you here. Let's welcome the audience. Let's let them know.
Okay. One more time. Hey everybody, this is Will, and welcome back. We're glad to have you today.
Yay, that's right.
I'm getting it right.
That's right.
So if this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new videos. Now, this is a weekly podcast. And in this podcast, we talk about...
First of all, we keep it real in this podcast, okay?
We talked about keeping it real.
That's right. And we talk about that a lot on here. We talk about relationships, love, family. Y'all know what it is. You know what we talk about here. So welcome back. Welcome back. Glad to have you back. As you guys know, before we get into the topic of the day, we like to go into a blissful moment. Sir Estimable?
I don't have one. This week went by so quickly, I couldn't even catch one. I mean, I can say I'm alive, but that's kind of it.
The fact that you say you couldn't even catch it, it's like,
Well,
whoa.
you know, if I think of it, you know, I come to a realization that I have to meet people where they are this week. You know, we all are at a different place in our lives.
Right.
And we all have different things that are important to us, which means if something's important to me, it'll be unfair to someone else to expect that same thing to be important to them. And that's something I've come to realize because, listen, there's a lot of things I want to do. And I want to get certain things done. And
I wonder where you get that from.
And
it sounds like something we talked about.
Yes, we were talking about it.
And I kind of make him realize that.
Yeah, but yeah, if that's, you know, my blissful moment this week is I learned something. I learned to not impose my expectations or not to expect others to envy or be driven for the same thing that I'm driven for. So let people be where they are and accept them for who they are and what their goals are.
That's right.
Yes, I had to come to realize that my goals are mine and mine alone. And if I happen to be around other people, maybe we work together, maybe I shouldn't impose my goal on them.
See, here's the thing. When you have a wife who's a coach, you see things so much better.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Thank you, baby.
Well, come on. Like, are we like saying the right thing when you have a wife who's a coach and makes you see things? Right? Not that I want to take the credit for it, but I'm just saying.
Everything is a coaching session for me, which is a good thing because, listen, I can get so into my way that I don't see any other ways but my way. So when you have someone who's constantly thinking of, you know, better and look at other people for who they are and try to be your best self, you gotta expect almost everything you do that there's always going to be some work around for.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's good. No, not everything. But most of the time she's kind of spot on. But yes, I did. If I can put my hands on one thing that this week that made a difference in what I do is really, really take a step back and look at my goals, but also understanding not everyone will have the same goals, which means there are things that I do. Not everyone will be doing it because they're in a different phase of their lives. There's different things that are important to them. Like right now, I'm thinking I have like 40, 50 years to go. But we have people that are looking at maybe have 3 more years to go now. Their expectations will be very different than mine.
That's right.
And I learned to make sure that I understand that we are different. And what I do will be different than what they do. And that's okay.
And that's
See,
okay.
I didn't know I had a blissful moments, but I had an enlightened moment.
That's
I
awesome.
was my eyes were open.
Is it the
And
conversation?
the best thing is it's free. It didn't cost me a
I
thing.
was about to say I need to charge you, but I just want to ask you: is it the conversation that we had, what we talked about, that makes you realize that?
Yes. We had
See?
we had a very a moment of me being interrogated and then kind of turn into, okay, let me give you some pointers and really let's look at where we are and where people around you are, and how do you make sure that you're not imposing or expect everyone to be like you. And I should know that stuff already, but you know what, that's why it's good to have a coach. Sometimes it's not that you didn't know the thing, you need someone
Right.
to remind you.
Yes.
Because we can get so full of ourselves that we forget.
Yes.
And it's good to have someone who will take you back down. You know, we can go high up and forget that we're humans, because we think we're celestial. You know, we think we're holy.
Well, right.
But it's good
right.
to have someone in your life who can take you back down to earth and help you understand that you're still a human being. And you got to learn to live with other human beings.
That's right.
Until you no longer exist on this planet, you're always going to be interacting with people. So learn to live with people.
That's right.
And be nice and keep liking people. I love people. Sometimes they get on my nerve, but that's okay.
That's what people do. People get on each other's nerves, and that's okay.
Sorry for the long-winded blissful moments, but she made me find it. And they had one.
And it's a good one. It's actually a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one where I gotta get the credit for it too. So,
And the best thing is, it cost me nothing.
well, here's the thing. You don't know that yet. So I might be sending you the bill soon. So you don't know that. You know, it's coming.
Why do I feel like there's probably going to be some other type of project that I'm going to have to work on?
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
I'm just saying. That's great, baby. I'm glad that makes you realize that, you know, we're human and things, what you want up here is not what the
everybody
other
else wants.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's okay, baby. It's
I'm a better man now.
Yes, because of me. I'm just saying, where the credit goes, it goes to that person, right?
I'm a better man now.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying. That's why it's good to have a good coach. I'm just saying. All right. So here's the thing. So now let's move into, well, I don't have one. I just want to say that I'm glad you found one. And the only thing I want to say is that I had a good rest on Monday.
She took a day off.
I took a day off. I was feeling tired. I took a day off and I was like, listen, when you get home, let's take a drive by the beach. And I did. I got there, I relaxed, and I was like, great. Now let's move on. And then here we are. So that's my blissful moment. Great time. Great. Yeah, I know how it is for me.
All right. So now let's get into the real
Deal.
So the topic of the day, yes, why it's good to be realistic in your relationship. Well, talking about expectations in your relationship.
Right. So here's the thing. You guys may have heard the phrase expectations lead to what? Disappointment, right? We've heard that a lot of time.
Yes.
But what does that really mean when you think about it? So, and also, like, how do
you manage?
Right. Expectation to ensure that it's satisfaction and not disappointment.
Well, keep the expectation low. Very, very low. Don't even expect to get food.
Okay, now let's be real. Let's be serious right now, okay?
Hey, listen, I'm sure most of you that gets in a relationship, you're looking for a partner that will complete you.
Yes.
A partner maybe that likes the same thing you like. Maybe someone you'll never argue with.
We have the same values.
Share the same political affiliation.
Yeah, and we have the same sense of humor, silly
Go to the
stuff.
same church.
Yeah,
Yeah,
things like that.
Is that really the case?
No.
Yeah, we're different people. People likes different things. We do different things. We taller than each other.
Or
Hence short people.
some may be taller. The girl could be taller than a guy. I had friends who's taller than their spouse,
Yeah, that could be the case.
than their husband. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we're different. We're different, which means the things we like would be different. But I know, in a relationship, when you have a healthy expectations, it creates stability.
Yes.
People are not constantly beating each other. Yeah, and then we have expectations in life. Like we expect to go to sleep and wake up in the morning.
Right.
We expect that if we work in our job, we expect to get paid. So it's not a bad thing to have expectations. Just like if I'm married to someone, I expect to be intimate with them.
Of course.
Right?
Unless there's something wrong with that person.
Yeah, that could be wrong things. But if something's wrong, you can always work it out. But it's okay to have expectations.
Right.
And
absolutely.
I think this is what we're getting to. It's okay to have expectations. I know in a relationship, one of the main things that's important, or one of the main expectations, is respect.
And honesty.
Should you be honest?
Of course.
Well, if I'm surprising you, I can't come out and tell you. And even if you ask me what am I getting to you, it's okay if I say something different than the surprise, right?
But it's a surprise. That's different.
So it's not 100% honest. You can lie a little bit.
I mean, just if it's a surprise, then we okay with that.
If you stop by a store that you know that she would talk about, you just don't tell her that you stopped by the store. You
No.
just tell her, no, don't do that.
Oh, please
causes
don't.
But you can tell a little white lie if it's for a surprise you're getting for your partner. I think that's acceptable,
That's
right?
Right. If it's for the partner, that's acceptable. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, unrealistic expectations.
Ooh, that would lead, that to me definitely would lead to disappointment.
Well, yes.
If I'm
And
like,
yes. And yes.
and that's something I always say to you, baby, be real about what you want. Be real about it, right? We talked about it a lot. We talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
Be real. And
some of the things, I mean, you can take that to some very basic thing. Like there are couples that expect to never argue. There are couples that expect to never change.
I mean, if you think about it,
if we've done this, that's how we started. We should always do the same thing.
change and disagreement, I don't know.
Well, changes will happen.
I don't know. Couples will feel like there should never be
An argument?
Yeah, like, what are we doing? Like,
but some people,
arguments are supposed to happen at every relationship. In every relationship, I should say.
and this is what make that expectation unreal. Like, for instance, if you came from a household where you've always avoided argument,
Right.
or you've never seen your parents argue, you wouldn't think that.
Not my household.
Yeah, your mom is.
Not where I came from. No. Maybe your household.
My mom may be relaxed, but if she wants to say something, she's going
She'll
to say
it. That's true.
But if you come from a household where you've never seen that happen, you may think that for you to be in a place where you with someone you love, you shouldn't argue. So the moment anything may pop up to be an argument, it becomes a big problem because you're trying to avoid it.
I say someone is lying in this relationship. If you never argue, if you never if you think everything got to be like the way it should be, then somebody's lying. Point blank, period.
Yeah. But you know where that could become a bigger problem is when you're trying to avoid it. Yes, you will lie. You will lie. You will lie because, you may disagree with something your partner does, but because you don't want it to turn into an argument, you would kind of go along with it. But one thing people has got to remember, things that are hidden Never stay hidden forever.
We said it so many times in this podcast. Seriously.
Yes. So don't expect not to ever argue. If the argument comes up, have the argument. And if you're gonna smack your husband a couple of times, you do that. No, don't lay hands on anybody.
Please don't. and then don't come back and say you heard it from Will and Cece's podcast. No.
but you can have a heated argument.
Right.
Just respect each other in the process.
Don't call each other's name.
Because there are things you say in arguments that you cannot take back. So don't call each other names. Because there are things that you would say that you cannot take back. So yes, have a heated argument if you and what you'll find is that once you have this argument, whatever caused it, hopefully you'll come to some kind of resolution. But at least the other person will know how you feel.
Yes, and the thing is too about me knowing how I am. If you call me like a certain name while we arguing, it's not gonna just stop here. I will go days not talking to you because
this woman's got issues.
I'm one of those people where free argue, free like. Thank God we don't call out names here. We don't do that.
I know better.
And I know better too. So, but if that somehow, I'm just hoping and praying never happen. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of people out there. If you call them names, it's just not gonna go right. It's gonna go to the left. Okay, and be ready for it.
And when it's one of those things that comes with the relationship. Now we talk about the unrealistic expectations. They happen. They creep up in any relationship. Just because you're good with your partner, that doesn't mean from time to time you're not gonna find yourself expecting something that really out of the norm.
Yes.
And sometimes it's silly things, but you can learn to manage your expectations.
Of course.
And think of the impact it may have on your relationship. And when that creeps up, and you realize, you know what,
right? Maybe
I'm asking for something that's abnormal. Maybe I should look back and take a look, what can I substitute for that? And think of when you impose that on your partner, how is it going to make them feel? Now, if it's something after you've analyzed it's a go, then expect it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's why I told sis, don't expect me to make omelet every Sunday. That's unreal.
We learned that.
Let it be on me when I went.
We learned that last Mother's Day. So... I got it, ever since you like, nope, don't expect every Sunday. And I got it. But
you got to learn over the years and through the course of your relationship, learn to shift your energy. If you feel like some negativity, something that's not quite coming in, just take a step back.
Right.
And kind of look at it and see, okay, am I being real? Am I over expecting? And if that's the case, just change it.
I do be over expecting things sometimes from you, and I'll be like, listen, I learned my lesson. I know my man is not going to do it. So therefore, I'm like, it is what it is. Whatever he does, I'm happy. Whatever he decided to do, I'll be fine with it. So I learned to not have high expectations and be okay with it.
That didn't come out too nicely. And here's what she meant. Like, for instance, she's the type that if she texts you, she used to expect, okay, I text him right now, I should stand by the phone and expect a response. I'm not that kind of guy.
Not really.
But she would expect responses. Like, 5 minutes will be too long.
That's not true.
I'm not that kind of guy.
That was a long time ago, baby. I don't do that anymore.
See, she's learned.
She's learned. A long time
and this
ago.
is where we have to reevaluate our expectations. Yes. I'm not the type of guy that jumps on a text and reply right away.
I never asked you to.
She used to.
I used to is the key word here. Used to.
And obviously, I let her know, hey, this is how I handle text. If something,
and it's not just text.
If something's crazy urgent and I'm at work, call my office. You'll get me, and we'll deal with the urgent stuff. If it's a text like you just want to check to see how I am, it may not be until I'm ready to leave the office that I'll text you back.
Listen, I used to have some issues with I admit I used to. I believe it was before the girls were born. Like I think it was a long time ago where I would text him and he would not text back until like the end of the day. And I'm like, I'm at work too. You know that, right? And I text you. You know how when you text your spouse, hey, how's work? How's it going? I know you've taken lunch. I know you stopped by the printer. I know you pull out your phone and check social media, but you ignore my text. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I know you've seen your phone. And sometimes he'd be like, okay, babe, I know you text me. I see the text. There's a difference between when you see the text, you acknowledge the person and says, hey, work is good. I'm good. How's it going? You know, you just ask, hey, how's it work too? But when you look at it and not respond, to me, that's a problem. Because what are we doing here? I check on you. Why are you not checking on me? I mean, I'm not a needy person, but I'm just that type of person. I care.
See, I am glad
I care. I care for my friends. I care for my family. I care for everyone that I know. I'm just saying. I'm very caring, okay?
She learned.
When I text you,
I don't always return text right away. Now, sometimes I do. But sometimes it just doesn't. But obviously, we've spoken about it. We kind of lay out, yes, I know she used to like to get responses quick, but she knows that. So we found a happy medium between us. And this is what's important. When you have expectations, be able to articulate. Yeah, take a step back. Make sure you really understand what your expectations are and share that with your partner. Yeah. Maybe you can find a happy medium, just like we did with the text and with the omelets and with many other things.
With a lot of other things, trust me.
And if you have a whole lot of expectation, maybe make a whole list of what they are.
And I feel like sometimes there's people need to set boundaries too, because it's not just about where, okay, I want my husband to do this. I'm expecting of him to do it, right? There's a lot of time, ladies, we need to chill back and be like, okay, he's done this and this and this. Let me just chill back. And then either I would do it. A lot of time I feel like we expect too much of other people where, okay, babe, damn, baby.
It's the honest truth.
Okay.
Sometimes we gotta manage our expectations.
I do have high expectations. I used to. Let me rephrase that.
This is not coming right. What, you don't expect much from me now?
Not as much.
That's a good thing. I'm a free man.
Well, I don't know if it's a good thing though. But anyways, yeah. So it's definitely important, and I do feel like too sometimes you gotta give your partner time, and I think that's important, right?
Oh, yes. You know, it's sharing your expectation up front with your partner. That's important because you get to tell your partner, these are the things that are important to me, and give your partner time to take it in, and so they can make up their own list of what's important to them, and then bring it up to you. Hopefully, it's not a complete opposite of what you want.
That's a problem.
But it's good to give your partner time, because not everything you expect you're gonna get.
Right.
You know, there's going to be things that your partner's probably going to be like, no, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make sense. But give them time and take some time to sit together, because just you having a list of expectations, they'll have a list of expectations. And do that early on your relationship, or the moment you run into the first conflict, do that. Because before you know it, you'll keep having one after the other. So lay out the list of expectation, give him or her some time to really soak it in, consider it, evaluate it, analyze it, come up with their own, and you guys sit and look at them. Yeah. Some, they'll get thrown out. Okay, that's ridiculous. We're never going to do this. And others, you're like, you know what? I think it makes sense. Right. Let's do it this way. Because that allows you to really start on the right foot. This way your expectations matches theirs. We both understand. And yes, you'll argue sometime, but hey, who doesn't argue?
Imagine you give your boyfriend, your husband, a list of all your lists, right? You made a long list. Yeah. And then he comes back with just 3 things.
People's expectations are different.
And you're like, and you'll feel some type of way to show your list, because now all I'm seeing on yours is just 3 or 5 things on your list, and I have 20,
some
25
people are needier than others.
You know, I mean, we've never done that before, but we've talked about things.
I think I'm gonna have her make that list.
Listen, you'll get 100 stuff from me.
Now that she understand it'll be a whole lot less than what it would have been maybe 5 years ago. No, maybe 6 years ago.
Maybe like more like 10 years ago.
Well, she's learned a whole lot over the years, so that's cut down. And obviously, you know, the longer you've been with someone, the more you'll understand this person. Well,
either that or you tolerate the person you don't like.
Love is about tolerating.
I know. So I'm just saying.
Hey, one thing that's important: be open-minded. Be open-minded, and consider your partner's boundaries and their own expectations. Because you know, sometimes we make our own list, and we're really proud to put the things we want down.
Yeah.
And we expect that we're gonna get everything we want. And when our partner puts theirs down, we kind of disregard it. It's all about me.
It's like you don't want to compromise. I mean, this is where I call it selfish, right? Because if you're not being like, okay, let's look at it, let's work. Let's look at this, let's work it out together and see what makes sense. But yet you like,
yours are not important. It's all about mine.
There's a lot of people who does that. And here's another thing too. When it comes to our community, sometimes I feel like they're not as open-minded as we are. Like I'm talking about the older people in our community.
Yes. I mean, we've run into a lot of, and we'll probably even see it in our family where it's kind of like what I want and never what you want.
It's like my way or the highway.
That's kind of like what I want and never what you want. But yes, it's kind of like my way or the highway. I say this and this gets done. And sometimes you find there are families where the other partner will just kind of accept it. And you find this family where the other partner says, no way, that's not going to happen. We're going to fight.
That's my mother. She'll not gonna let this happen. We're gonna fight.
I think sometimes your mother's more like she's the one that's saying my way or the highway.
That's not true. But I do get her though.
Yeah, but it's good to it's good to be open minded. Be considerate of the other person's needs.
Absolutely.
And embrace change.
It's not all about your needs, you know. I have needs too.
Yeah. And those needs will change. So embrace them when they change. And yes, we are not the same we were 10 years ago.
Yes.
The things that I do now, the way that is very different than the things that I used to do 10 years ago.
Of course.
And the same thing goes for you. And if you're in a relationship 10 years later, you'll be saying the same thing as well. So changes do have not every changes are for the best. What were you raising?
But
it's not because I've changed, and all the changes that I've made is all good changes.
Changes are good. Some changes don't need to be changed, okay?
Some things don't need to be changed.
Some things don't need to be changed. My foot massage that is never gonna change. What else? There's some stuff that I still wants to remain the same.
Well, what if my hands become very not normal? I can't massage your foot anymore.
Come on, baby. Not normal? Then get a machine to do it.
But yes, so there are changes. Yes, there are changes that shouldn't happen, right? If you should still be caring for your partner, you should still be loving to your partner. You should still be present in your partner's life. You don't want to change this way. However, there's some certain expectations, and maybe the place that you normally used to go eat, you don't go there anymore. Maybe the places you used to hang out, you don't do that anymore. Maybe there's certain activities you used to get engaged in. Maybe you don't do that anymore. Maybe there's certain endurance you used to have. Maybe it's not there anymore. Changes will happen.
But I think it's not so much change of locations. I think it's change within us.
Yes, and changes within us. But, as we change, the things we do change.
Right. But here's the thing, too. Sometimes I feel like as we change, we get on each other's nerve a lot. I noticed that as we get older, I seen it with my parents. My mom does
get aggravated.
It's just facts. Like as you get older, one is more needy and the other one's more like relaxed and not do anything. As we get older, things do change. There's a lot of things that you get annoyed by. You're like, okay, I don't want to deal with this. But this is when we have to really accept the person for who that person is, for who he is.
Yeah, but if someone keeps annoying you, it'll get in your nerves. Now, listen, the younger we are, the more resilient we are, which means we can tolerate a lot more. Once we get older, there's some nonsense
I've seen them.
don't want to deal with.
I've seen a lot of elderly people who are not patient. Listen, as they get, I used to work for this nursing home a long time ago. I used to be in the activity department where I sang along and danced. They were like very kind people. And I would see them, husband and wife, they just not patient with each other. They just don't want to be bothered. The husband wants to be left alone. The wife wants to dance, you know? And I'm like, is how my life is going to be when I get older? And I don't want this kind of life. If I want to get on the dance floor, if I'm home 80 years old, 90 years old, my husband is still around, I want us to still kick it.
Physically speaking, if you have back issues, and men tend to have back issues earlier than ladies do, he doesn't want to get on the dance floor, so let them be. Now, we're talking about, obviously, we're not there yet, but even at our age, there's certain things that we don't have the time for.
True.
But it's good to understand that, and obviously, if you find that there's things that irritates you, make sure your partner knows.
Yeah, and I'm sure she'll figure it out too. Because I know my husband very well. There's a lot of things that he doesn't wants to be bothered. And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. You're fine. I'll just do it myself. You know, and it's okay. It's okay. And
as
sometimes
we get older, we change. So what you expected of me 10 years ago would be slightly different.
And I'm learning to be okay with that.
Yeah. See, I told you I'm still a good man.
You are.
Yeah. So... And respect conflict, because conflicts will happen. Believe me, in any relationship, you'll have conflicts.
Listen,
if you don't have conflicts,
listen,
lying.
Listen. Okay, what he just said. If we don't have that in our relationship, someone is lying. I don't care how beautiful, precious she is, or handsome he is. And if there's no conflict, even Prince Charming has conflict with.
Yeah, we can.
You know, like
we disagree on. Yeah,
Jesus had conflict with the people that were selling stuff. So clearly, if you don't have it, there's something's wrong with your relationship. I'm just saying, point blank. Period. Yes, you can come and tell me something, because to me, it's like if you do something and I disagree with it, then yes, it's going to be a slight argument. It's going to be a slight, you know. But if it's like, and here's my thing too, the yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes ma'am all the time, or yes sir, yes sir. This is something that was like back in the days.
Well, yes, and there's still yes ma'am people around.
Like who?
But relationship like this will not last, because you find you get to learn about your partner better when they know what you like and what you don't like. And the same thing goes for knowing what your partner likes and what you don't like.
Right.
And sometimes the only way you'll know that I don't like something is if I tell you that I don't like it, and you're probably not going to like the fact that I told you that I didn't like it. We'll probably argue. Now I make my point as to why I didn't like it.
Damn.
hopefully we come to some. But it's good. It's good to express our dislikes and our likes, our feelings. It's good to, because if you don't, how would you ever know that I have issues with this? So, you know, it's important to share that, because if I don't, you'll never know that whatever's going on that I don't like it or I disagreed with it. And eventually me keeping it in, never sharing, I'll get to a point, obviously much older than this, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm tired of your stuff. I'm done. And you don't want that, because had you known that this had been an issue, you most likely may have changed and do something different. And this is where sharing is important.
Yes, and that's why it's important to talk about it. Yeah. Like whatever's going on, which I always tell my husband, what is it? You know, when you know someone, you can tell something is bothering them and you're like, all right, he doesn't want to talk about it. But because I know who he is, and I'm like, let's talk about it. I'm going to talk to you and talk about it. I don't care how long it's going to take me. We're going to sit here and listen to each other and talk about it. Yeah. But here's the thing. if you don't talk about it, this is where the problem comes, where you end up having more and more frustration. Like, you're like, damn, I don't know how. You're like, man, I don't know how to, express myself. A lot of men out there don't know how to talk about it because they were never, they're always like all about their feelings. I don't want to show my feelings. If I do, I'm not a macho man. Yeah. Like, listen, you married someone is to share whatever's going on with you, whatever you're thinking is why we married. We share a life together. So therefore, conflict or not, argument or agree or not, we need to find out a way to solve it and a way to talk about it. So I'm all about, hey babe, what's going on? Because I can tell.
She's always open my biz.
I'm like, listen, I can read your mind. I can see through you.
Yeah, she's always up in my business.
It's okay. You my business. So I gotta be in your business.
I had no privacy with this woman.
You my business. I better be in your business. Just like you're my business. Just like I'm your business.
And she always throwing her business on me.
And?
But yeah, bottling up your feelings and keeping things inside is never a good thing. So yes, if you're the type of spouse who wants to know what's going on with the other person, just be. Like, some of us are more talkative and more open than others.
We are.
And some are just an open book.
They'll
turn the page for you to read whenever they get a chance, I was thinking, okay, sit down, I got to tell you stuff. And before you know it, you're listening for 30 minutes.
And some like to write things down where they're not going to talk about it. They want to express their feelings in writing. Who has time to read?
Yeah, so bottling up a feeling is a no-no. So express it. However you do. Now, expressing feeling and anger is never a good thing. So
why would you do that? How am I able to understand what you're telling me?
Right, that's me saying, if you're going to express your feeling, if you're someone that has a temper, maybe if you have a friend who can cool you down, cool down first. And then when you feel like you're going to calm head, then come express your feeling to your partner. Yes, because there are people that has feelings. And when that feeling comes out, if they don't cool down, it's almost as if they're fighting you. So no, don't express your feeling to your partner at that moment. Cool down. Go for a walk. Go take a long bath. Go talk to a friend.
Go take a bubble bath.
Yes. Cool yourself down and then come back. When your head is cool, then have a conversation. So, and I'll tell you, if you were bottling up some feeling and you get to that point where you're about to blow up, stop. Go for a drive.
I don't know about a drive.
Call someone and vent. And hopefully
men don't do that.
Oh yeah, we talk to people. We talk to people.
Okay.
We talk to our homeboys. And if they're just as bad as we are, they probably tell you the wrong thing.
Right.
So have someone who's
call your mama.
No. Have someone in your life that that you can talk to.
Call your brother.
Who can reason with you.
That's you.
And yes, do that. Cool yourself down and then come back and express your feeling to your partner or your spouse.
While you're crying?
Don't ever, if you're crying, man, then cry. But don't ever try to express that feeling while you're angry, because it's never going to come out the right way.
True.
And bottling up your feeling can cause that, because if you keep keeping it in, eventually, boop, something happen. And you can't keep it in anymore. It all comes out.
It's like,
and there go that fight.
But there's a lot of men who likes I don't want to talk about it. I'm mad. Okay, what are you mad about? You mad? Then let's talk. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, then fine.
Yeah. But yeah, don't bother the feeling and don't compare your relationship, because comparing your relationship will cause you to have crazy expectations of your partner.
Listen.
Believe me, you look at social media right now, everybody's showing up stuff that are not even theirs.
But you don't know what's going on behind the doors.
No.
You don't know.
Man.
Not even in social media, like in real life too.
You know how many videos I've seen people posing next to exotic cars and the owner just show up and says, "That's my car."
Or they go.
Those are staged. But there's a lot of things you see that people do, and especially movies. Hey, listen, we've seen a lot of romantic movies, and in those movies, it seems like
it's real.
Oh, relationship is just
beautiful.
Yes,
it is beautiful though, baby.
It's a movie. Now, we all have had beautiful moments in our lives, but we've had arguments and we've had not so beautiful moments in our life. But those are all moments that's important to our life.
Yes. Yes.
And if you watch some movies, you'll never think relationship or marriage or any type of cohabiting with people would have conflict. And now social media just even add more to it.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. You know? And here's the thing too. I don't ever compare our relationship to any others, to anyone. No. I may see someone that I inspired by their relationships, like Michelle Obama, my parents, you know, who else, babe? Your parents?
Yeah.
So I actually don't like to compare. Oh, look what we have. I want to have this big house. I want to have this and I want to have that. No, I am grateful for what I have, and I inspired by other people for me to have a better relationship with my husband, with my family. Not that I want what they have, or I want to have what this girl have on social media.
You saw that big rock this girl posted.
Oh, you saw that big rock, Papa.
I need one just like that person. Why can't you give me that? But whatever it may be that you see, because a lot of times these things are not even real.
Yes, and that's true. And if it's not, just enjoy what you have. Like what you have. If you with this guy,
be grateful.
Yes, if you with this guy that blows your mind and do you good and keep you like happy. That's all that matter, girl. Not like what she or he has. I want what they have. No, because
however, this is what I say to this, just to make sure that I'm not leading people down the wrong path. Mm-hmm. If your desire is to be better, keep doing things to be better. Right? That doesn't mean if you're like at the bottom now, you're happy at the bottom and you want to stay at the bottom. No, as human beings, we always want to be better.
Right. And
but
grow.
Compete against yourself, not the other people.
Right.
Look at where you were maybe last week or last year, 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. What can I do to get to the next level?
Yeah.
To be better than where I was. So compete against yourself.
Exactly.
Leave other people in other relationship out of it. Maybe my man wasn't so romantic. Maybe we can be more romantic in our own way, but not go into these fancy, crazy places that you see people posting. I'm a romantic man. Listen, if my wife was comparing me to every romantic thing she sees people do, we would have major issues. Good thing she doesn't compare me. And
I don't. Listen, but I am though. I am very romantic, and it's not that romantic.
I am me. Listen, I take care of
I appreciate you for trying. It is what it is. You know.
But I'm not the type of just going to just pick up flowers like every so often.
Not so much pick up flowers. More like let's go out and about.
I took you to the beach. Well, it was her idea, but I took her. I drove. and listen, we can sit here and laugh about these things because we know it and we're good with it. And she does her best to help me think of these things, these out of the box ideas. Sometimes I don't. I'm like,
and I've learned to know that you're not that. You're not that. And I'm trying not to.
Hey, think about thinking creative. Don't let yourself get stuck in a rut, right? Sometimes you find yourself get stuck in routine. You do the same thing over and over every day. It gets boring.
Yeah.
So, now, we just said don't compare yourself, which means don't see that person went to Greece and spent 5 weeks there and you want to do that. No. Find your own ways to do things different to get you out of that rut.
I mean, if it's an idea that you like to go one day, right?
You can't go to Greece in one day.
No, one day, baby. Like one day you like to go on a family trip or on a trip. Oh, yes. Like one day you like to go. That's what I meant when I said one day you like to go.
Yeah.
But
so like for instance, she wants to go to Paris.
That's a long time.
I'm not traveling to France right now.
That was like 10 years ago. I'm just saying.
So you no longer want to go?
I still do. Okay.
Officially, she says she no longer wants to go to France.
I never say that. I still do want to go to France. I still do.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
She's always wanted this. However,
It's actually on my vision board for the past 5 years, and I'm still putting it back on. And until it happens, eventually it will happen.
oh, it will happen. Keep it on that vision board.
Absolutely.
But, seeing people going to Paris does not bring me any additional conversation.
Who have I seen go to Paris?
I don't know.
No one. It's just that it's a place that I really love to experience.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, if you do things to get you out of a rut, if you find yourself in a rut, because it just happened, you would find yourself, especially the longer you've been together, the more likely you are to get caught in a rut where you find yourself doing the very same thing every day.
Yep.
Yeah,
We've done it.
Try different things. Shoot a podcast together. That's different.
Yeah.
Go to different places. Do picnics. Different areas.
Have more date nights,
Be intimate in different places. No, that could be nice. But you can't.
Well, it could be more like exciting and dangerous. Like, no, more like exciting and more like.
Do it. No. Hey, listen. If you're gonna go wild, just be cautious because there are certain things that are illegal.
Don't do it on the stove. You might get burnt.
if you're having relationship issues, maybe see a counselor. Because people like this maybe you say, whatever you do, if you can create time to do different things together, you'll find that it's beneficial. Mm-hmm. And
True.
The expectation would be that we're gonna do it together. Don't be like, you know what, things are bad, it's on you to make it better. No, we make it better
together.
Yes,
that's right.
And stop sweating the small stuff.
True. Don't sweat the small stuff, guys.
If your husband
seriously
brush and sometimes spots, little water thing gets on the mirror, it's okay. It's okay. If sometimes he forgets to take his shoes off before he comes in the house.
It's not okay.
It's okay. Now, the small stuff. Sometimes we put so much effort on the small stuff. Now, Cece's learned to. I mean, she stopped giving me. Actually, no, she hasn't stopped. Because just earlier she was pointing out.
Well, yes, the mirror.
Careful.
Yes. You know how it is when you just clean the mirror and then your husband goes and brush or wash his face and you're like, oh my God, I just cleaned this. Like, why again? I'm not a clean freak.
I brush violently.
But yes, you do. You do. Like,
yeah, my brushing is like hardcore. And listen, you gotta keep these whitey white, so you can't be soft when you're brushing. So
baby,
yes,
you brush so hard. And
I
I'm
brush
like,
violently. No, I don't bleed my gums or anything, but my brushing is like hardcore. So yes, things. Now I've been being very, very cautious because I know how she feels.
Like I cleaned the mirror on Monday, and on Wednesday it was already like dirty, and I'm like, babe, how? My side is fine, it's clean, but your side, because you brush so hard.
I brush violently. My brush is like hardcore.
You brush violently, you eat violently.
So that's me saying, don't sweat the small stuff. Now, she doesn't give me as much grief as she used to because she understands.
I don't get it.
I told you I'm a violent brushing guy.
You are. I've actually noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. She's told me many times, slow down. Oh, easy up a little bit.
It's like, yo, bro, come on. Like,
but this small stuff. Like for instance, I would take my sandals and I get, because we got sandals that we put on in the garage and get in so we don't bring our shoes in. But sometimes I get halfway and somehow the sandal gets left behind and I'm walking around the house.
Hey, go back. Go back.
And we try to wear socks more often in the house.
Yes.
And I keep forgetting to wear my socks. So, but these are little things.
But that you got to remember. Because you'll clean up after that. I do. So.
My feet are always clean.
Listen, don't sweat the small stuff, but these are important to me, okay? Because when you get the one to do the cleaning, it's important.
Yeah. But don't let the small stuff become so big that it's causing issues.
Right. Now
that doesn't mean, yes, it's okay for her to remind me not dirtying up the mirror. Or maybe clean it myself.
I think I'm gonna put a sticker right there on the mirror while you go. It's like, why are you fighting your teeth? Like, why are we fighting them? Like, they white already. You should take care of your teeth. They're white.
I gotta keep them white.
But why are we fighting them though?
Listen,
but
maintenance is important.
I understand. I get it. But
Okay,
we don't have to be violent.
So let me be. But the little things, many times they're not worth it. And don't let the expectations we have around the little things become the big issues in your relationship. Remember, your relationship is more important. The love you share with each other sometimes is more important than wearing socks in the house. And she gets it. Sometimes she'll just come over and hand me a pair.
Well, yes.
Wear this.
Before you get inside the house.
Yeah. But hey, guys, managing your expectations are important.
They are.
And make sure your expectations are known by your partner.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you're willing to compromise on some of the crazy thing you may expect. Because your partner is not going to always do the things you want.
Nope.
But let it be known what you want, and together you can come to some kind of compromise.
That's right. And be real.
There we go.
Be real.
On that note, we thank you for listening to our podcast today on what's the topic again? Why you should not have unrealistic expectations in your relationship, because it'll drive your partner nuts. So thank you very much. Please share this podcast with whomever you think it may be beneficial to. And for those of you who's been with us for a while, we thank you. For any one of you who may have stumbled on our channels for the first time, welcome. And please remember, subscribe and hit on the bell so you can be notified.
That's right.
When we put out new videos. And Cece has this thing she does on the liking and the comment. How does it go?
Go ahead, baby.
She likes it when you like it.
Okay.
She likes it when you comment on it. She likes it when you share it. I think that's the third one.
Okay.
Right? Did I get it right?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Subscribe it too.
She likes it when you subscribe to it. Yes, I think
and I
that's
like it when you click on the bell icon.
She likes it when you click on the bell icon. Yeah, I think I'm getting it right.
Okay, we need to practice.
We'll practice the next podcast. It'll come out a lot smoother. But I appreciate you guys for listening. We appreciate you guys for listening to our podcast. Again, please share it with anyone you think this may be beneficial to. Please remember to check us out on the audio channel, Spotify, iTunes Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts rather, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio. And until next time, we'll see you.
Bye.
Peace.